Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back. A little bit of a hiatus here. Welcome to episode 26 of the Casey and Tyler Show.
It was only a week.
No, busy week. You know, we got the holidays and stuff coming up, holiday parties and everything like that. So quite a bit to recap here. College football championship recap, obviously. Then we got to get into some CFP discussion. We got our 4 teams. Then obviously NFL Week 13. I have some MLB offseason quick tidbits. And other than that, just a typical Tuesday show. Case, anything
Yes,
you
it
like
is.
to say?
Yes, it is. Yes, it fucking is.
Are you excited to be back?
Oh, I'm excited to be back.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Last week sucked, but
It was only a week, but it feels like it's been a lot longer.
I know. No, it feels like it's been a long time.
I think it's because we had that funky week with Thanksgiving. We didn't record on like the typical day, so it just kind of threw. We had it was just threw everything off. But we're back. But without further ado, Casey, anything else you want to add before we get into the show?
Nope.
All right, let's do it. Casey, let's recap some college football. We had conference championship week, chaotic season, to say the least, in college football this year. Fun year, a lot of upsets, a lot of big games.
Michigan played with a player with the felony charges for the past 2 months, but
okay,
hey, it is what it is.
That's just not true, but we'll just move on. We'll start with obviously USC losing to Utah. They get knocked out of the playoff there in the Pac-12 championship game. Kyle Whittingham, I think, has established himself as one of the better coaches in the sport. Utah just fought hard all year. Good year for Utah. I thought one of the big takeaways from that game is people were gushing over Caleb Williams and the future, his future as a potential NFL quarterback. He looked really good.
Do you think he played himself out of the Heisman in that game? He didn't look the best.
I don't know. I thought he looked good. He was hurt, obviously.
He looked
very
okay.
hurt.
He was hobbling around, but it's one of those things to where
he was bleeding. His one hand was all bloodied up, and I guess he has like a significant hamstring injury that he played through. I don't know if he didn't help himself. We can say that for sure. Hurt himself. I don't know. You play hurt. You're either going to be the hero or the guy that should have just told the coach you couldn't go. You know what I mean? So I know Lincoln Riley did get some backlash for like leaving him in there, but I think when you have a player of his caliber and he's that good, you got to roll with him. You know what I mean? I don't know how good their backup is, obviously, but feels like when he's that good. But yeah, Utah wins. They don't get in. Next game, Kansas State versus TCU. This was a great game. Kansas State gets it done in overtime, wins 31-28. Doesn't hurt TCU. They still made it, and we'll get into that in a little bit. This was a good game. Max Duggan was getting crushed in that game,
dude, he
man.
was getting hit all over the place.
Oh,
Every
my
time
gosh.
the camera showed him, he was on the ground.
I know.
Or he was limping. I mean, the two
Tough kid, man.
A fucking day.
And there was a drive late in the game where I think they ended up tying it, and he ran it in, and it was like he had 0 left in the tank. It was like they didn't score there.
That was because he went off on a 40-yard run the play before. It was one of those things. He dropped back, and he was like, you know what? Fuck this. No one's going to catch the ball right now, so I'm just going to run down the field. I mean, he had a huge opening. Mm-hmm. He hit the hole and took it, went outside, and drove all the way down till I think inside the 5. And then after that, he was like, I'm taking this in. Yeah,
it was a good game. I'm glad the committee, obviously we'll get into it, but they didn't get punished. I didn't think they deserved to get punished. They had a great season, and they played a tight game. And like we were texting, Casey, Kansas State's no slouch.
They were number 10 in the country, and it's one of those things to where it wasn't like they got their ass kicked.
No.
If it was like flip flop that Utah, like let's say Kansas or that Kansas State game was like 47-24, like that Utah game. Yes, maybe drop them to 4.
Yeah, I agree.
3-point game in overtime.
Second time you've played this team too, obviously.
Yeah.
Then, like I said, Kansas State's no slouch. Their running back, God, but did he have a good game? Oh my gosh, Deuce Vaughn.
Can't see him, dude. He's so
Can't
short.
see him. I know he would like
Short
disappear
and
behind.
just fucking muscle.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Power behind that.
Yep.
Fucking short fuck.
He would get the ball, disappear behind the line, and then he just comes out in his lateral quickness. He's just hard to tackle in space.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's not going to beat many people in a foot race, but in a short, like his lateral quickness, I mean, he's real hard to tackle. It was an entertaining game. I watched the whole thing. It was good. Obviously, was rooting for TCU.
I mean, TCU kind of shot themselves in the foot because, like, in the overtime, they had a chance to kick a field goal, and Sonny Dykes decided to go for it on fourth and goal on like the 2. But I mean, honestly, I like the play call.
I do too.
It's one of those things where like the people that are like, "Oh, that was a horrible play call." Well, yeah, hindsight 2020.
Yeah, but also you're expecting them to go down and score a touchdown, right?
Yeah, especially how they're playing at that time.
And I think like he knows where his defense was at. Maybe he thought our defense is gas. We need to put a touchdown in here because, like, that's I don't know. I don't know, but I agreed with the play call. I don't mind being aggressive there. If you again, it could be the reverse of what I'm saying. Maybe he thought his defense was in a really good spot, and this was his best chance for his offense to score. And you know what I mean. So,
right,
like you said, hindsight's 2020. That was a good game. Let's see. LSU versus Georgia. 14 LSU heading to number 1 Georgia, or I guess this was in Atlanta. Georgia wins 50-30. This game was never really close.
No, it wasn't. Georgia wins the SEC. Congratulations, Georgia. Yeah, they just kicked the absolute piss out of them. Their coach was pissed. Or not pissed, but he was mad that their defense allowed 30.
30 points, yeah. I mean, LSU's offense is decent. Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback. Georgia gets in. They remain the number 1 seed. I think everyone expected that. It seems like it's Georgia and everyone else. So if someone wants to take down the champ, they're gonna have to play really well.
Right.
Play really well.
Perfect fucking game.
Yeah, and Stetson Bennett, after the game, trying to hype himself up for the Heisman, says that he said something like, well, we got a lot of good football players on this team, but I'm pretty damn good at football myself.
Shut the fuck up.
He's like 30.
You've been in college for 17 fucking years.
Yeah, he's like 30.
Moving on, the Big Ten championship game, Purdue versus number 2 Michigan. Michigan ends up covering late, 43-22. Purdue made it close for the first half. They looked good, but Michigan does what they normally do.
Purdue's an experienced team, too. Aiden O'Connell's like a fifth-year quarterback there. He's decent. I expect he's probably going to get drafted. It was a good game. Michigan, obviously, without some players, still able to get it done. I think the thing that stands out the most to me as a Michigan fan, just the team. It was all about the team, the team. Edwards played great, and after he was the MVP of the Big Ten championship, and afterwards all he did was talk about Blake Corum and how Blake didn't get hurt. He would have won. It just seems like they all really care about each other, which was really cool to see that after in the post game interviews. Michigan 2 seed heading in. Obviously, they got to take care of business against TCU. Probably going to be a very scrappy game. And then they'll get a shot at either Georgia or Ohio State as we move into the college football playoff talk. Ohio State backs into the playoff after sitting at home and doing nothing. Shout out to Utah after Utah beat USC. One of the last things
you can't be pissed at Ohio State for USC not taking care of business.
Right.
USC loses close. I still say they get in.
I don't know if they put a 2-loss team in. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know what goes through the committee's head sometimes. Like, their criteria is just shot. I mean, but I was gonna say, Utah's coach Kyle Whittingham after the game in his presser was like, "You're welcome, Coach Day," which I thought was kind of funny, a little self-awareness knowing that, like, well, we're not going to get in, but Ohio State probably gets in now. So OSU gets a chance to take down Georgia. This game will be in Atlanta, the Fiesta Peach Bowl, I think it is.
Yeah, so let's just get into the playoff talk, and then we'll talk about that one in between. Let's just get into the college football playoff, and then we'll talk about the other shit, the Colorado stuff after. So the playoff are set. We have number 4 Georgia playing number 1 Atlanta. Or number 1.
Number 4 Ohio State. Hold
on, nope. Cut on. Okay, let's get into some college football talk. Okay,
I was like number 4. You said playing number 1 Atlanta.
I'm logged back in. Okay, let's talk college football playoff. Number 4 Ohio State plays number 1 Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Pretty much a home game for Georgia because the game is in Atlanta. Game is on the 31st. I think the spread opened up at 7. I think it's
7. Georgia's favorite 7. And this is the late game, too.
Yeah. Yes.
Michigan plays at 4. Yeah.
Let me look at the live odds. I'm pretty sure it dropped.
You think it's... Oh, it went closer.
I think it went down to 6.5. Let me double check.
I mean, you said initially that you thought the spread would have been closer to 3.5 to 4.5.
So it is currently at 6.5, Georgia. So it went down in Georgia's or in Ohio State's favor. I think Ohio State can win this game, but I'm not saying like I'm not putting money on it because I mean the money line odds are plus 185. So Vegas is pretty much saying that Ohio State has a shot.
Yeah,
but it being in the hundreds is saying that Ohio State can easily win this game because they're pretty much giving it to people.
Yeah,
I mean, but Ohio State has to score a piss ton of points, and their defense can't play the way they did against Michigan.
No, and I think that's the bigger thing. Ohio State's defense got to stand up a little bit. Georgia's got those 2 tight ends. One sec. So as I was saying, cut back in. Georgia's got those 2 tight ends that are really good. I think that's going to give any team problem. They got that one tight end, Washington. He's like 6'7". It's going to be very difficult.
He's fucking huge. Then they have that Bowers guy that can fucking...
Bowers.
That is pretty much a receiver at tight end, dude.
Yeah, and that's just hard to guard. Obviously, they have the experience as well. Stetson's been there before, so I don't think they're going to be very phased. The thing that I think is in Ohio State's favor, they're pissed. And I do think talent-wise, they have the 5 stars to match up with Georgia. Obviously, Jackson Smith-Njigba is not going to be playing. He declared for the draft today. Said he's going to be focused on that. So Marvin Harrison's got to step up, have a big game. I think Ohio State can keep up. This isn't a slight. The play calling just needs to be much better than it was against Michigan. Don't get cute. Stick to what you're good at. And keep it close, and you never know what can happen, man. Especially in games like this.
And your defense has to fucking play.
Yeah, yep. And it's got to be a relatively mistake-free game for anyone to beat Georgia, and you got to rely on them to maybe make a few mistakes. I think that for C.J. Stroud, this is a big moment for him, and hopefully he's up to task. Like I said, I think Ohio State has the athletes to compete. I don't know that it's not going to be like when Cincy got in last year and there's just a massive talent deficit. I expect this to be a good game, and I hope it is. I mean, it's always better on New Year, like watching a good game. You know, like last year, both games were pretty out of hand. Both semifinal games were pretty out of hand by like midway through the third quarter. So hopefully, it's a decent game. I will say this, as a Michigan fan, I will admit I don't really want to play Ohio State again, but if they do get past Georgia and somehow Michigan gets past TCU, that will be the most watched college football game of all time. And maybe the biggest college football game of all time. Because if you bury your rival in a championship game, bygones are bygones. Nothing else matters, and you can never live that down.
Oh, no, until you beat them in the championship game.
Like, there's no matter what. Like, you know what I mean? So
they would beat you in the 2023 championship game. So piss off.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And as a sports fan, like just generally, I find that storyline riveting. Right? Like that would be the hostility around a Michigan Ohio State championship would be something else. We'll see what happens, though. Both teams can't look ahead.
We probably couldn't do a podcast for that week.
No. we might kill each other.
But let's get into the next game.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Unless you have more on this game. You have more on
No, I was just going to say both teams can't look ahead, Michigan and Ohio State. You got to win the one that's in front of you first before you start worrying about that.
But next playoff game, number 3 TCU playing number 2 Michigan. This game is the Fiesta Bowl. It's played at It's out in Arizona, Gladwin, Arizona. Yep. This
Glendale.
is 4 o'clock. Glendale. I don't know why I say Gladwin. Glendale.
It's all right.
That obviously says Glendale.
Yep.
But it's on the 31st. This is the early game. It's at 4 o'clock, I think. Spread opened up at 9.5. Currently sitting at 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought both spreads would probably come back down to earth. That's just how it works typically. Michigan's got a lot of things that favor them here. But Michigan's a little bit more banged up than TCU. I mean, every team's banged up this time of year, but both teams get 3 weeks to get healthy. Obviously, I don't think Blake Corum's coming back. I don't. And Michigan needs to be ready for that, and hopefully Edwards is able to carry the load. It should be a gutsy game. Sonny Dykes is a hell of a football coach, so I expect him to have a game plan ready. You got 3 weeks to prepare, to only prepare for Michigan. So I expect scheme-wise, I expect TCU to do some things that are going to give JJ a hard time. And we'll see, man. We'll see.
This is going to be a great game, I feel like, because, like, both teams are, like, they both start out slow. You know what I mean? Both teams start out really slow, and it's one of those things where TCU always makes a comeback. So is it going to be a 14-14 game at half and all of a sudden hold on to your fucking shoes, folks, because it's going to be 56-49 by the end of this thing.
I know. And that's, I think, and it sounds super obvious, but I think for both these teams it's true. Whatever coaching staff as a collective makes the biggest halftime adjustment probably wins the game, right? Because I do expect Michigan plays everyone close in the first quarter. The first half. They like to play it very conservative. They like to control the clock, and then they go out and expose what they learned in the first half. TCU, like you said, all their games seemingly were close at half, just like Michigan's, and then they come out in the second half, and it's Dugan to Johnston and their running back, so we'll see. It will be a good game. TCU's got some experience. Like Dugan is a fourth or fifth year guy there. So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be I personally do think Michigan gets it done, but I hope it's a good game.
Already placed my plus 9.5 bet.
Oh, nice. So no matter what, you just need them to cover 9.5.
Need to cover 9.5. Well, I bet the money line too. So.
But we'll obviously we have plenty of time.
Oh, yeah,
we'll do other shows. Yeah, we'll get more into the matchups.
I would say probably this is the 31st. We'll have that week. We'll probably talk. We'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a show that week, so we'll talk about it before. Huge news in college football. I mean, obviously everyone probably knows this already, but Deion Sanders takes the head coaching football job at Colorado.
Yeah.
Jesus
and just an electric day of interviews yesterday.
Did you hear what he told us, dude?
Yeah, he said, you better get in the transfer portal because I'm bringing luggage and they're all Louis.
And he said, Shador's I think that's his son's name, Shador.
Shador, yep. Yeah, he said, stand up. This is your quarterback.
He's like, this is your quarterback. He's like, yes, he's going to have to compete, but
this is your quarterback.
That's their fucking quarterback.
I also thought it was funny. He's sitting there addressing the team, and he goes, just so you guys know, when I get back, there's going to be no hats, no earrings, and there's one guy in the back of the room that has a hat on and just takes it off and just is like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And when he said, like, feel free to enter the transfer portal because you're just making room, there was people that were, like, looking around like, fuck. And you know what? I was talking with my dad and some buddies about it. Even if that's partially true, everyone's going to hit the transfer portal nowadays. That's just the way it is. I think he's challenging that team to be like, if you're too soft to want to compete with anyone I'm bringing in here, then I don't want you on the team anyway.
No, yeah, and I think he's just letting them know. He's like, okay, well, things are changing. Don't think that just because you were a starter this last year that you have a starting job when I come here.
They won one football game. No one's job is safe. You know what I mean? Like,
I've already know how many people he's bringing from Jackson State.
Probably quite a few. If he thinks they're good enough to compete at that level, they're probably coming with. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's sweet. I was reading that this, like, Colorado as like an athletic department has been working on something like this for a long time. They recently started a fund with all their boosters so they can compete in the NIL with the rest of the Pac-12, because they were like, guys, if we don't get modern, if we don't, like, we are not going to be in the Pac-12 for very much longer. Because I think they joined in 2011 and they haven't really been great since. So I think that their athletic department was like, look, we have history here. We won a national championship here, and our facilities are good. I mean, I don't know if you saw like them walking through their locker room and stuff.
Oh, it looked nice.
It looked super nice.
Really
it way better than I would have expected. So I think it will be easy to recruit there. I mean, Boulder's a great area. So we'll see. I'm excited to watch it. It definitely changes the college football landscape a little bit just because he's such a polarizing figure. He's been getting a lot of hate for leaving HBCU behind. A lot of people think that he talked a lot of talk, and then when the bag man came, he was kind of like, okay, time to go. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, really. I think that Deion's a very calculated man, and I think he did this because he thought it's what was best for him and his family. And he has an even bigger platform now, and maybe he somehow is still able to help out some HBCUs. I'm not sure. There are people out there that are much better versed to speak on that than I am, but we'll keep an eye on what obviously Deion's doing at Colorado. I think we talk 2 years and they're going to be pretty relevant. We both think, right, Case?
Oh, I think so. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Did you see another thing in his interview that I thought was really cool is him and the AD already seem to have a really, really good bond. And I think that's because I think the AD knows if this doesn't work out, I'm probably looking for a job elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because they threw, like, they you know what I mean? They, like, really attached themselves to Deion. Like, you better fucking fix this.
Did you see that little sign they have of Deion Sanders in their locker room? Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. And he also said that the whole building's going to be changed with a bunch of like these motivational quotes that Deion lives by. They're going to be like painted up all over the locker room and stuff. So, well, that's all I got on the Deion thing. Obviously, that's going to be a long time. Can you still hear me, Case?
Yeah.
Okay, your video went away, but I'm sure it's fine as long as you can still hear me. Before we get in the NFL, I just have a few quick things. Casey, our Red Sox, did you hear what Shane Bloom said today?
No.
He said that he's looking to build the Red Sox into contender in 2023, and he expects to add anywhere from 7 to 9 players.
What, add?
At minimum.
So he's going to add 7 to 9 players, but he's not going to play Xander.
Right.
Nice.
Reliever, starting pitcher, and a position player.
Good job.
Yep. And then obviously,
not going to pay Xander, and most likely not going to pay Rafi.
Yeah, they're not paying Xander. I mean, all the reports coming out of that camp are that like it's over. So we'll see. And then did you see Justin Verlander's contract with the Mets?
Yeah, 2 years, 86 mil. Fucking insane. Dude's what, 42?
Dude, that's the crazy. I couldn't believe when that news broke on my phone today. I was like, what?
Like,
what?
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was
so much money.
Yeah,
so much money.
That was a lot.
What's
and obviously,
the point? Is he that good of a pitcher to where he's going to take you to that next level?
Well, I mean, he was the unanimous Cy Young Award winner this year. So, I don't know. Just a lot of money. I was just going to say, they have the winter meetings coming up, so in our next couple shows, we'll probably get into a little bit more of the MLB offseason, but those were just the two quick things I wanted to bring up for now.
Well, yeah, and the Verlander thing is pretty big. But yeah, moving on to NFL.
86 million. Sorry. Go ahead.
You done?
Oh, I thought you cut out. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. You done?
Yeah, I haven't said anything.
Well, I'm just saying you cut me off, so I was just making sure that you were done.
Well, maybe apparently you were moving on without me. Come on.
I mean, you were fucking eating some fucking food over there.
It shouldn't be sitting next to me. We're good.
Moving on to NFL Week 13, Jacksonville Jaguars head up to Detroit and play our Lions. Lions get it done and kick the absolute fucking piss out of them. Win 40-17. They looked
40
good.
to 14.
40-14. Sorry. Where the hell did I get 17?
Yep. Looked really good. This is one of those games as a Lion fan that puts your mind in a pretzel because now everyone thinks Jared Goff's the guy. You know what I mean? And I hate that because I'm really conflicted on that topic.
Yeah, so am I. I mean,
as to what? Yeah.
It's one of those things. What, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one?
He's been to 1 Super Bowl, I think.
But he lost one.
Yeah.
Because he was part of that horrible
He was part
Super
of
Bowl.
the first Rams Super Bowl run, yeah.
The first Rams Super Bowl run, and then he was there when it was like that 13-9 game against the Patriots, or 10-9 game.
Yeah, very weird, very
that
weird
like
game.
really low, boring Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was part of that one too.
He's only been to 2.
Yeah.
Or only been to 1. He's only been to 1 Super Bowl. The Rams have only been to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1, lost 1.
That's what I said. He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
No, Stafford won the one with the Rams, not Goff.
No, he had Goff.
Goff's only been to 1 Super Bowl.
Pretty sure too. NFC champ. Yep, only one. You're right.
Yeah, I was to say I've been looking it up here. Yeah, because yeah. So, but that's my thing.
I thought he was part of 2. Fuck it.
Oh, good. No worries. But like that's the thing when Goff has a game like that, you're like, wow, maybe we can build around him and he's just good enough. You know what I mean? Versus having to waste or like trade up, like for a guy. I don't know. Lions looked really good. Their defense is playing great since like November 21st or so. Yep. No, since November 1st or something like that. I saw
since the bye week.
Yeah, they're playing really, really good. Their last 5 weeks, they've looked good.
Yeah, I agree.
They've got Vikings coming up. I think they're favored in that game.
They're favored by a point now. It was the Vikings were favored by a point. Now it's swung the other way, and it's the Detroit fucking Lions.
It feels like 9-8 gets you in. You go 4-1 down the stretch, you probably have a shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they go home against the Vikings. I think they'll win that. At New York,
Jets.
Jets. The Jets. I think they'll win that, but that's a toss-up.
They could. Yeah. Yep.
Head down to Carolina. I think they'll beat the Panthers. Home against the Bears. I think they'll beat them. And then head out to Green Bay, the last game of the year. I think they can win that, but that's still a toss-up.
Aaron Rodgers might not even be playing in that game. So, like, because if Green Bay's out, like Aaron Rodgers already said this year that he understands it's a business and they might just want to play love and let Aaron get healthy.
Right.
So, like, if they're out of playoff contention, Rodgers said he's open to the fact of, like, not starting. He's like, I totally get, like, we need to know what Jordan's capable of. He's like, I understand. He goes, I could use, his wrist is messed up, whatever. Who knows? The Lions are playing well enough.
Country and get high.
Go do some ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
The way the Lions are playing, I could realistically see them winning all the games, but it's the Lions, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up yet.
Fan. I can't. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they look good. Obviously, we got some, I hate to say good news, but with Stafford going on the IR. Very unlikely he plays again this year, and that Rams pick is just looking better and better, man.
Yes, it is.
So that's really, really good.
Pretty much what's happening is the Rams pick is where I thought the Lions would be, and the Lions pick is going to be where I thought the Rams would be.
I know, and it's funny because it's almost like last year it was how we expected, and this year I was like, oh, the Rams are probably still going to be good, and it's just like I thought we were going to have like a 10th pick and like a 22nd pick.
That's what I.
And we're going to have like a top 5 pick and like a top 20 pick.
We're
like
top
what?
3 pick possibly.
Yeah, that's insane. But yeah, the Lions look good. Amon-Ra St. Brown is just a stud.
J-Mo looked good.
I mean,
he didn't do much, but
they said that they just wanted him to get his feet under him. I expect him to be more involved next week.
That's what I thought. It was just get him out there, let him just run some routes, just so let's see how that knee looks before he starts taking actual. Maybe the occasional hit here and there, but like. You know what I mean? Because, like, them pressing him at the line and all that, maybe not throw any passes to him, maybe a couple blocks here and there, just to see how he looks.
I guess he was going to start at gunner on punt team, but we didn't punt. And I guess one of the things they loved about him was he was one of the best gunners in college football at Alabama. Like, that's the guy that flies down the field to try and tackle the dude you're punting to.
No, I know.
And so they were like...
They're the guy on the outside.
Yeah, and so... Yeah, and so they were like, oh, this is a plus. Not only is he going to be a stud receiver, but he can make an impact on special teams. So they told him, like, you're going to start at gunner. And he was like, bad, I'll go hit somebody. And then they just didn't punt. yeah.
Hey, that's what great teams do is not punt. Right. Score on every fucking possession, pretty much.
Yeah, they looked good, man. And I don't know if you saw the video in the locker room where they gave DJ Chark the ball. You can just tell there's been a total culture shift with the Lions. DJ Chark was like, I just really want to thank you all for welcoming me here. It's a blessing to be here, and I'm glad I feel like I'm part of the family. And DJ Chark's had a very disappointing season, by all accounts.
Yeah, he hasn't done shit all year.
Glad to see that, him contribute against the Jags and, like, understand that he's happy that he's a part of something. He doesn't feel like he's stuck here. So That's pretty cool. Next game, Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Good old-fashioned tie, Casey.
Good old-fashioned tie. That's one thing I hate about the NFL is they can tie. Dude, like I saw this video of this Giants fan. These two Giants fans, after they kicked the field goal, they thought it was good and started celebrating.
Oh, no. That's the worst.
Yeah, just going nuts. And then it landed short.
Oh, no. That's the worst feeling, man. I've been in that position before. And you just get duped, man. It's hard to tell sometimes. It can be hard to tell.
It's like me at a baseball game. Every
pop fly, you're
like,
oh,
that's a home run.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Right, dude. It didn't even get out of the infield. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah,
I think it went up really high. I thought it was gone.
That's like oldest time. That happens all the time. Anytime you're at a baseball game, there's a fly out to left field. Like there's one guy in the outfield that stands up and you're like, dude, that is not even close.
That is probably 10 yards into the outfield, buddy. That is not so even close to you.
Yeah. This game had playoff implications, kind of, right? Aren't they both in the hunt?
They're both in the hunt. Right now, as of right now, the 3 wild card slots in the NFC are all NFC East teams.
What?
Cowboys, Giants, Commanders, all in a row. That's all NFC East teams. Go look it up. It's fucking insane right now.
So every team in the NFC East could make the playoffs.
Every single team in the NFC East can make the playoffs. When a couple years ago it was the team that won the division was under 500, I think it was.
Yeah, I know, that was crazy.
They went from one of the worst, conference divisions in football to being one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys just look. I think the Cowboys
looked good last night. I hated their helmets.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is so good.
I didn't like the helmets. What the fuck was up with that stripe?
Yeah, I don't know. I also think it's so pretentious. I hate that the Cowboys think they're so special that they have to force a team to wear their home jersey when they play.
Yeah, like
I hate that. Like, what makes you guys so special?
Yeah, like you're gonna wear white at home, and then you're gonna come over to our place and wear blue. Go fuck and wear us wear our road jerseys at home.
Right?
Go fuck yourself. I mean, you better be paying me if I'm the owner of that team. Like
you think you're real special, don't you, Dallas?
No, I would literally tell Jerry Jones, be like, yeah, go get your white jerseys or pay us $50 million or $5 million for us to change.
The Commanders quarterback Taylor Heineke keeps balling, man. I know it's only a tie, but he had that drive at the end with that pass to Jahan Dotson. I mean, he might be earning like a legitimate spot in the league with how he's playing with the Commanders this year.
Did you hear what he does? Every win that he has, he buys a pair of Jordans in the color of the team that he plays.
He beat. Yeah, I know.
He beat.
Yeah, it's a baller move.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Green Bay. Oh, in case I gotta let this out.
Moving on, the Green Bay Packers head to Chicago and play the Bears. Packers win 28-19. I thought Chicago was going to get it done. They looked like they started out good. They started out to an early 10-0 lead. I think they went into the fourth quarter. They were up 19-10 at one point. And then Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers normally does in Chicago. He fucking owns them, and he beat them.
Yeah, he said something like, it's like his second home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
His interview after the game was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was. Fields is getting kind of what's it called? A reputation as being a guy that can't finish football games. He starts off great, but can't get the fucking win.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, he's not the particular quarterback type. He's not an actual quarterback. I'm gonna say that he's more of a dual style / a running back type of quarterback. I wouldn't particularly say he's like a Lamar Jackson, because you can't really compare him to Lamar Jackson. I feel like Lamar Jackson can at least throw the fucking ball. I don't think Justin Fields can. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, the cord fell out. I was gonna say he's definitely a run first quarterback, but if he develops into like a decent passer, he's gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah, no, I agree. If he
They also have no receivers on that team.
No, you're right. Well, they have Chase Claypool now.
Oh, sick.
Well, I mean, there's not much to say about it. I mean, it was a good comeback by the Packers. The Aaron Rodgers owned Chicago. They get it fucking done. Moving on, the Denver Broncos head to Baltimore and play the Ravens. Ravens win a close one, 10-9. Lamar Jackson left the game with a knee injury. I heard he is day-to-day. He is. I don't know about if he's going to play this week. I heard it's unlikely, but he is day-to-day, so he can still possibly play this week.
Yeah, I heard that it's definitely not a season-ending knee injury. More like precaution to take him out of the game there. Don't want to make it any worse.
Right.
Yeah, he'll be back. The bigger thing is after the Lions' victory, someone went over to Lamar's Twitter. His like was the
it was the Lions. Oh yes, one of his likes is a Lions victory thing, dude. Lamar is coming to Detroit.
I think he wants to, man.
I number 3 pick Will Anderson, get Lamar in the offseason. Then with that second pick in the first round, go after another like a D-end or something or a linebacker.
Yeah. I would say if you have the cap space to sign Lamar, you just focus entirely on defense and let him cook.
Michael Mayer, I think that's his name.
Oh, get him a good tight end.
That tight end from Notre Dame.
There's a lot of tight ends in this draft. There's him, that Darnell Washington guy. Dalton Kincaid's another good one. So I think there's quite a few options at tight end coming up. But yeah, I don't disagree. You just got rid of Hawk, so you're going to have to fill that void, whether that's free agency or through the draft.
Right. Next
yeah,
game,
this game was ugly. This game was ugly. The Broncos stink. The Broncos are so bad.
Yeah, dude, the Broncos are a horrible team. Who thought the Broncos would be
They're
what they?
so bad. Nathaniel Hackett is gonna get fired. He's no way he coaches this team next year.
Oh no, will he be the first coach to ever lose their job after 1 year?
No, the guy that's the interim coach for the Panthers only coached at the Cardinals for 1 year. There's been other ones, but this is just particularly disappointing.
This is
because it's not like you're not a first-year coach on a bad team. You went out and spent a shit ton of money.
You got it
you're not supposed
an elite caliber quarterback.
Allegedly, yeah, and Jerry Jeudy, you got weapons.
He has a Super Bowl.
No, I know. I'm just saying, he's looked bad, but I don't know if it's his fault or if it's Hackett's fault. You know?
Yeah, this year he's looked particularly really bad, but I mean, in years past, it's
he's
been
elite.
one of those things, dude. It's on the Seahawks in the playoffs game. It's like, fuck, there's 2 minutes left. Russell Wilson drops back. The next thing you know, those receivers are downfield, and he busts one out for 30 yards.
Yeah, I would say Russ has been in his career a top 5-7 quarterback in the league. So I don't think he's washed. I think Hackett sucks.
I think that's
really
what it is.
Do.
Next game, the Cleveland Browns head out to Houston and play the Texans. Browns get it done and win 27-14. Deshaun Watson's first game back after suspension.
It looked great.
Yeah, I heard he was a little rusty. Heard he was a little rusty out there.
Yeah, he was, which that's to be expected. You haven't played a full an NFL game in 2 years.
Right.
He got booed, which he said he expected. I do find it just so ironic that it's against the Texans as his first game.
That shit was that's so funny.
It's just weird, you know what I mean? It's like the NFL does that shit on purpose because it just builds an extra storyline.
Right.
Browns get their guy back. We'll see. I mean, they still win convincingly. I expected it to take 2 or 3 games. They are. Yeah, they are. They are. It's almost like a perfect game for Watson to come back in because he could not be at his best and they can still get it done. You know what I mean? They can let him make some mistakes knowing that the game is still going to be won. You know what I mean?
Anything else on this game? I honestly didn't watch this game. I was more watching the Lions game. I didn't even watch Red Zone this week.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I expected to take 2, 3, maybe even rest of the season for Watson to finally get back up to speed. So
yeah. Next game, the Kansas City Chiefs head up to Cincinnati and play the Bengals. The Bengals get it done, win 27-24. Bengals have owned the Chiefs in the past 12 months. They are 3-0 against them in the past 12 months. That is insane.
Yeah, this was a great game. Back and forth. It definitely felt like the entire game, whatever quarterback had it last, was going to win.
Yep.
It just like you said, the Bengals have owned the Chiefs. They seem to have them a little figured out. And we'll see what happens. I think so I was reading today, the Bengals had the hardest schedule in the NFL this year. So it makes sense why they started off as slow as they did. I think the Bengals are getting hot at the right time.
They're going to prove me wrong.
Oh, shit, they are.
They're going to prove me wrong.
They are. They're going to be the outlier.
They're going to fucking win their goddamn division.
Dude, they're going to ruin the fucking the method or the algorithm.
What team started 0-2?
Oh, dude, I'd have to go back to that. The Lions, the Raiders.
Well, let me go back to that show sheet. What show sheet would that be?
It would be 13 of them ago. Or 11 of them ago. Because that would have been 2 weeks in. So it would have been 11 minus 24 is 13. Show sheet 13, maybe. That's just a guess.
I don't have 13 here.
No, it'd be in your notes, probably.
Oh, wait. I think I may have found it. Yeah, fuck it. It ain't here. It ain't here. But yeah, they're gonna prove me wrong. I know they were one of the teams on that list.
They were. They started off 0-3.
The Bengals did? Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow, never knew that. But yeah, Bengals get it done.
I got it right here. The Bengals, Raiders, Titans, Panthers, and Falcons all started this year 0-2.
Wait. Hold on, let me pull up the standings again.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so the Bengals?
Bengals.
Okay, 8-4. Fuck. Okay.
Raiders, you're good on the Raiders.
Okay, I'm good on the Raiders.
Titans.
Fuck, they're winning their division. They're 7-5. Yeah. God damn it.
The Panthers, you're good. And then the last one was the Falcons.
The Falcons? Shit, and they're 5-8. They might win their division. Okay, hey. It's what it is. Hey, sometimes you bring experiment. Sometimes you say some hot takes, and sometimes they're wrong. So don't fucking sue me, people. You win some, you lose some.
For those that aren't aware, Casey had this whole math problem worked out and whole analytical thing where teams that start 0-2 cannot make the playoffs.
It's been true.
It has been true.
Since they expanded the playoffs,
teams
that started 0-2 didn't make the playoffs.
You're so ridiculous.
What?
Great show.
Great show. Hey, fuck Riverside. Hey. Army Navy this week. Bet the under. It's a tradition. Bet the under. Under Army Navy.
We'll preview that on Thursday.
Love you guys.